So due to us being a little bit behind on time, I'll be just going straight into our next speaker with Angela Busheka. She is amazing and I'm so thrilled to have her here. She's an engineering student and the founder of Enroute. Angela Busheka is a 20-year-old Macedonian climate activist. She is a founder of Enroute, an award-winning nonprofit and app which has helped over 60,000 people, wow, 60,000 people to live more sustainably. She represents North Macedonia in the UN Youth Climate Delegation. And at the end of the day, she is an engineering and computer science student at Lafayette College, exploring how to utilize tech for good. So thrilled to have her here, and you guys will hear so much more about her.
Awesome. Hello. Can you hear me still well?
Yes, we can hear you, we can see you. You look amazing.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so excited and so thrilled to be here. Thank you so much for the wonderful interaction. And hello, our audience. So grateful to see you here on this, I hope, beautiful Sunday day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. So today we're going to speak about impact and how to measure it with a little bit of numbers, with a little bit of strategies. I would go on and try to share my screen. Bear with me for just a second. But okay, so I will, as previously Ara mentioned, we have to know more about our impact, and we have to know what are the numbers behind it. You'll say why we are doing all wonderful things in the world. Why do we need to measure our impact, and why do we need to know how much impact we are doing it? Let me tell you. So I'm a university student. I started university, and I'm having a lot of grades, a lot of stuff to do, and it is the same as I'm studying, but the professors are not measuring how much I know. That is the situation happens when we are doing something in this world, but we are not measuring it. We are not measuring it tangibly, and hence we don't know how to improve. That is a big problem that happens in the social impact sphere. So we are constantly doing things, performing, all these taking actions and activities. But at the end of the day, when people ask you, what are you doing? I don't know. It's really hard to measure. So that's why I today want to talk about how I started to measure our own impact and how I've learned about others doing it. First and foremost, we have to understand one crucial thing about social impact, that we are not a business-led organization. So when you're able to go and just Google about business-led organizations, you will see KPIs. Now, KPIs are key performance indicators. Key performance indicators are good to have, but we have to understand that business and nonprofits or social enterprises have different. We are here to make an impact. Businesses are there to make money. So when I was Googling what I can do with the KPIs, I found like 14 different metrics out there, like customer acquisition cost, cost of goods, all these other costs in the tables. And they told me that if I don't have competitive KPIs, I have nothing. So I've made these all Excel tables, tried to go on and off, but no, it doesn't work that way because I want to do good first. Maybe profit second, maybe I am supported by grants, but the good is first. So that's why throw away all of those KPIs and all of those hustlers, founders, pictures you see on Instagram. KPIs for businesses and for technological startups are not something that relies on social profits. As I said, most of us here maybe are generating some profit with our goods. Most of us are maybe supported by philanthropists. So we have to firstly throw away everything that is quite related to business. Now, but we have to measure still. That's why I want to introduce you today to a theory of impact. Now, theory of impact is something very beneficial that exists out there and I started to utilize. Theory of impact first starts with goods. What we need to import in our organization to start working properly. So now think, for example, you want to go and work in education and you want to do workshops for supporting students to learn something about climate change, since I'm working about in the sphere of climate change. You need to help them have some materials to hold this workshop. So those are the inputs you have. You buy materials, you print the books, you buy everything that you need, or as I said, you are supported by someone. Those are the inputs that you have. Next, you have some activities. You're performing something. So that could be a simple strategic workshop that you're actually teaching those kids what is climate change, because maybe the system and educational system, like in my country, doesn't support it. So you go on and actually teach them what is climate change, you use those materials, and you spread that activity. After that, you have an immediate result. The result that is visible today. What is it? The kids know about climate change. So now they have learned something. They know how to interact, they know the concept. Maybe you have shared some tips and tricks how to be more sustainable, how to buy more sustainable clothes. Maybe it's Black Friday here in the US where I am, so everyone is crazy about shopping. Maybe you have to teach those kids how to spend less on a lot of shopping in the stores on how to be more sustainable. Anyway, you have a result that is tangible for the day. Okay, so we continue to the next step. And what do we want with this result that we have today after we finish this workshop to continue and go on I would say, the whole process. So we are performing these workshops, let's say for a month or two, and now we see more tangible impact. So these students are not buying from fast fashion retailers. These kids are not buying things that they don't need. They try to understand that is our short-term impact. That is what we have contributed with doing the workshops on and on, with engaging the students. Then the most important thing of this theory of impact is the final goal. And the final goal is something that we truly want to go on. Now, when you're writing this theory of impact, make sure that for the final, for the fifth part, you say you're contributing to, because we don't expect youth-led organization to solve a huge problem. Anyways, we have Bill and Melinda Gates organization with an endowment of thousands of dollars, and they're still contributing to the solution, because no matter how wealth you have, no matter how powerful you are, you can still not alone solve something as climate change or social health or whatever it is. So the fifth step of this theory of change is contributing to a solution to a problem. So you got these materials, taught these kids how to interact with climate change. Now you have these kids interacting. Maybe they're going on and telling their friends, hey buddy, don't buy for Black Friday, buy something sustainable. And now you're contributing to this whole global problem of climate change. So that is the first thing, how you can measure your impact. Contributing to this theory of change and just connecting everything that you're doing. Now, if your organization can actually measure something that is really tangible, you can get numbers, that is more than great. For example, as Yara mentioned previously, I run En-Route, and we're actually helping people to reduce their CO2 emissions through an application. So I don't have actually to go and count the CO2 emissions, the application does it for me. So at the end of the day, or at the end of the month, at the end of the week, I would just get the reports for the organization and see the numbers which have been saved and have it in my own bank. And now, getting back to the end, to actually the beginning where I started, why do you need those numbers? First, if you don't know the numbers, how would you improve? How would you go and make more impact? That is the first and the primary thing. Second thing, everything that you need to communicate, they need to know how much impact you're contributing. For example, you're talking to investors or philanthropists. They want to know what they're investing their money in. And if you say I am doing great things out there, but I don't know what great things I'm doing, it won't be tangible. So that's why keep in mind when you're having this portfolio of impact to have, firstly, some numbers, anything that you can measure, number of workshops, number of students, number of attendees, anything that you can, put it in. And next, put the theory of impact, because it could be a very powerful thing to share and just represent the world, how you, a small person with small amount of resources, are making that change. Well, thank you so much for your attention, and here I'm welcoming all your questions on how to measure more impact.
Yes, feel free to drop more questions in the chat. We will definitely ask them. So thank you guys. And I guess one question I could ask is, what do you think your favorite, your most recommended way to measure impact would be for young people, especially?
Absolutely. So I would say start with the theory of change, just to know what is your pathway or how you're planning to do this. And because sometimes we all have this grand vision, I'm going to do this, I'm going to change the world and all that stuff. but it's important to know what first step you're going to take. It all starts from these workshops. Even the most, I would say, famous organization maybe started from just workshop in one school. So just make a goal. It's good to have great goals in front of you, but just start with some smaller, tiny little steps that you want to implement further. And after that, go on and continue. And as I said, everything that you can count, just put it everywhere, like on a piece of paper. It is all good. Just have it somewhere. How many students attended your workshop? 4. That's great. 4 students today can lead you to amazing things that you did tomorrow.
Thank you. That was an amazing response. We have 2 more questions in the chat. One from Poppy. What is the topic you are most passionate about?
Absolutely. So, as you can see, I'm really passionate about climate change, and especially the segment of fast fashion. Today and tomorrow, actually yesterday, my heart has been not good because I'm currently residing in the United States, and here is the Black Friday. So that means Black Friday is an immense shopping weekend where everything has a sale reduction and people are buying like crazy things that they want, they need, but things that they don't need just for the sake of shopping something. And the fast fashion industry is growing and growing. And me personally, knowing how bad is that for the environment, I'm really trying to do all my best these days to convince people to shop less and to shop smartly, I would say. But yes, fast fashion and climate change, the topic I'm most passionate about.
Yes, those are such important issues. And I love that you're so passionate about them because you're definitely making a change and letting even the people here know about it. So I really appreciate that. One more question. What if my numbers are not convincing enough? Is it okay to use percentages instead? That is from Francis.
Yes. So the thing is that I have actually asked myself this question a lot of times. So I am not having these convincing numbers. You see, I'm seeing this person changing the world, and hey, man, I'm having only 4 people in a workshop. What change I'm making? So first of all, it is perfectly okay to use percentages instead because that is how we can measure. You're not able to see for example, for me, the planet Earth, I'm not able to measure how much impact I had on planet Earth. It's kind of impossible. But it's okay to use percentages. But please don't discourage yourself if the numbers are not convincing. Instead, think 1 person touched is 1 person changed. So wherever you have at least 1 person that you have changed their minds at. For example, if I proceeded yesterday, I've done presentations to the college and people to shop less on Black Friday. If I have proceeded like 1 person, that is great. That is so much more waste reduced, so much more money saved, and planet Earth saved. So just switch the mindset on instead of numbers, instead of like all these Instagram stories and likes and everything that our world today has taught us to value. Switch on the real values of life. How many people have you really touched?
Yes, that was amazing. Another question from Mustafa Bah. What are advantages and disadvantages of the theory of change?
Yes, absolutely. So the advantage I would say is you know your pathway. You are structured in some kind of way and you know where you're going. As I said, you're connecting this small thing as like I'm having a workshop with 4 kids to I am actually supporting and contributing to the SDG for education. And disadvantage is that it's not tangible, so you don't know exactly how much you're doing. And sometimes, if you're doing, for example, education is quite easier to measure. You know how many students you have touched. It's kind of easier to get measurement. Sometimes, when you're doing something for public health, for example, you are telling people to get a vaccination, or you're doing something for the planet, it's kind of harder to measure that impact. So I would say maybe it's not tangible, but it's good to have a pathway. At the end of the day, we are youth. We are not like strategists in impact measurement. So it is a good start.
Thank you. I'll be closing off for now and introducing our next speaker. So thank you, Angela. Everyone, please say thank you in the chat. She was amazing, and I hope you guys can really just take something from this conversation. That's the #1 priority. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day, everyone.